This is New Amsterdam Season 5, Episode 10, discussion/review, titled, Don't Do This for Me. And yet again, the title fits the episode perfectly. Let's talk about it.
Live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings, I'm a big fight.
I know I trashed the New Amsterdam writers for Season 5, even in the very beginning of my reviews, in the earlier episodes, in these last couple episodes I reviewed today. I trash talked them kind of heavily, but I got to give them credit where credit is due, because this last episode, which is episode 10 that I'm talking about, was actually very, very great in one instance. And that just happens to be when Wilder is having her whole conversation throughout the entire episode with her mentor, if you will. And, you know, they're having their whole conversation in ASL. Like, I felt like that was very, very great, man. So a huge shout out to them for that. And I know we've had Wilder on staff for a minute, and, you know, her doing the whole ASL, and then, you know, Max learning, and we had the teacher that taught Max ASL, you know, who he was learning from. So all of that was great. I feel like that was one of the highlights in this episode for me, and it really just spoke volumes. And I feel like that was absolutely wonderful to showcase that on TV, to just have that out there for people to see. And, you know, hey, at the end of the day, they just doing their thing, man. They're actors too, man. So huge shout out and to both of those actresses to doing their part, and they done a phenomenal job. I was intrigued, and I was invested in everything that they were saying with each other. And like the lady was saying, man, that is huge. All school, medical school for the deaf people. That is going to be fantastic. And I get why she wanted Wilder. You know, Wilder's a surgeon and everything. And then listening to their whole conversation and her mention that, you know, hey, when I die, there's just going to be a blip in the paper. But when you die, they're going to build a statue. You know, you're the surgeon. Like, you're the first surgeon, you know, deaf surgeon. So, like, huge shout out to you. Like, that's great. Oh, my God. It was just great. Like, I'm fanboying over here, man, because it was just a phenomenal part of the episode. But Wilder turned down the job. Like, she spoke about this a lot. They already got the funding, the place they're gonna build at, and everything. She solidified everything, but she wanted Wilder to take over it because, you know, she has cancer. But Wilder didn't want to do it, you know, because her and Max are going back and forth with this whole thing. Now, I just gave the writers credit, and I'm just going to snatch it right back, man, because yet again, here they go with this Wilder and Max thing. And for the past couple episodes, man, even ever since the very beginning when they started to float the idea out there, you know what I'm saying? It's will they, won't they? Will they, won't they? And the thing is, they done that already with Sharp, but it was done so much better, man. It was over the course of years. Like, they done all this over the course of 10 episodes. You know, they're trying to push this out there now. You're like, oh, well, will they, won't they? Over the course of 10 episodes, we've already seen this done, and a whole lot better with Sharp. You know what I'm saying? Sure, we wanted Sharp and Max to take place a whole lot sooner, but it didn't. But we were happy when it finally came to fruition, and over the push and pull over the years, will they, won't they? Will they, won't they? The kisses, the lingering looks. We've seen this done better. And no discredit to Sharp. I'm not Sharp. Wilder, because you guys know how I feel about me some Dr. Wilder. I'm just putting that out there. You guys know how I feel about Dr. Wilder, but them doing it, and then, you know, her telling Max don't do this for her, and then Max telling her that he didn't do this for her, he's doing this because of her. Now that was great writing right there. I like that part. But, you know, their whole back and forth right there in that moment, and then, you know, her talking to her mentor, and then her mentor telling her, well, I'm glad that they see you, because, you know, Max told her that, hey, we see you. And, you know, then she was like, well, you should make the person that sees you see you over and over. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it was a whole ordeal, but, like, right there at the ending, it got a little campy. And then we see Sharp on TV, and Max just, like, he took his whole focus off Dr. Wilder. It was like, now, I can't speak for Dr. Wilder, but, you know, hey, the moment somebody done that to me, like, don't get me wrong, I get it, you know, you got unresolved feelings towards Sharp, but, like, the moment, like, we got our whole thing going on, and then he just, like, nah, man, nah. We had our whole thing going. We were looking into each other's eyes. We was hearing that moment, and then you just turn your head. Nah, that's it. That's finito. But, you know, and that's how the episode ended. But there was other stuff going on in this episode as well. We see that Iggy he's thinking his whole relationship with Martin is back on track. And I got to give it up to the writers for this, because I really enjoyed that part with Iggy and Martin, because now we focused on Iggy a lot about their whole relationship falling apart and everything, but I never once considered Martin, you know, changing as well, if you will. And you know, Iggy came in there with a bottle of wine and everything, and Martin was like, "I think it's best we go ahead with this divorce." I was like, "No," but I can see it though, man. I mean, Iggy, you kind of put the man through the mill. Now, sure, you felt some type of way, and I get all of that. And like I said, I was rooting for Iggy and everything, but you kind of got to understand where Martin's coming from with this, man. Martin's was like, "Yeah, I think it's best we go ahead with the divorce." Excuse me. But you know, and then we see Iggy, you know, helping that one patient, because he had the shock therapy. He's drinking all the protein shakes and everything, and then he helped him. And the dude still outside was like, "Hey, have you taken your vitamins today?" They got a whole spokesperson for New Amsterdam in the entrance. But now let's talk about something serious, man, because we see that Bloom is dealing with her sister's OD this episode, and then her sister saying some very, very hurtful stuff to her, and finding out that her mom wrote her an apology letter, but her sister took it and balled it up, and her mom died, I don't want to say hating, but being very angry or holding a grudge towards Bloom because of her sister. So Bloom, you know, they got this whole weird relationship, man. I mean, I feel sad for Bloom. I really, really do, man. Her whole dynamic with her sister and her mother, it has just been one weird roller coaster after the next, and she just can't handle it. And at the ending of the episode, we see that she just decided to finally let it go. Now, she was going to fall back into that pit trap again, but Floyd kind of talked her out of it the same way that she kind of talked Floyd into being there for his father. You know what I'm saying? So their roles were kind of reversed a little bit, but the way she went to the extra mile for Floyd went to the extra mile for her to cut her out of her sister's life. And he gave her the Narcotics Anonymous card and was like, "Well, if you want to talk to your sister, this is where she'll be at." And I was like, you know what? I'm so glad. It is time to cut her loose. Now, it's sad that, you know, this is what you have to go to. But like Floyd said, like, addicts can't get help until they actually want to admit that they need the help. So big ups on that, man. Big ups on Floyd's father, by the way, man. For sure, he read his text and, you know, he caught him some glimpses at some of them things. But, you know, Floyd out here trying to get his pimp on, you know what I'm saying? I see you, Floyd. But his father realized that, and he was like, you know, hey, you know, I'm going to leave, and I'm going to give you, you know, that room and that time that you've been wanting. You know, I'm going to help you, and I'm not leaving, you know, out of shame or whatnot this time. You know, I'm leaving to help you this time. And I was like, that's nice, man. Sure, some of this is a little bit rushed, but I ain't mad at it because it's such nice moments in the series as a whole. We see that Max was helping one of the ICU doctors. You know, she kind of lost the patient, and she was kind of wrapped in this little whole bubble. You know, well, if I leave the hospital, my patients may die again, and that's not the case. Now, if you're a doctor, patients are going to die, just like you live in the real world. People are going to die eventually. But, you know, Max had to get it through her head that, you know, hey, you staying here is not healthy and it's not helping your patients. You could actually end up making them another mistake and losing another patient. So, you know, go home, get some actual rest, and then come back energized, prepared to work the next day. Now, overall, like I said, the episode was great. Really enjoyed it. And this time, like I said, it was actually a great episode. But, like, just that one moment with Wilder and her mentor was fantastic, in my opinion. This is Word Incredible. Don't forget to smash the like button. You can't smash any more. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them. And subscribe. Peace out.
I cannot complain because today, I'm doing my